Welcome to this explainer. We're unpacking a massive fundamental shift happening right now in the tech world. It's a shift so huge, it's completely redefining what it means to build software. And the really fascinating part, we're exploring this through the incredibly sharp perspective of Rajarshi Mani. He's an 18-year-old AI developer, founder of Rajarshi Hub, and he's outlined a vision of the future that every single one of us needs to understand.
Okay, picture the scene. It's 3 a.m. in Jaipur, India. Rajarshi is in his studio, absolutely exhausted, staring down the harsh blue light of his monitor. He's hunting for one single, solitary, misplaced racket that's completely crashing his build. If you've spent any time in tech, you know this feeling. It's that classic, incredibly frustrating developer's rite of passage. But sitting there, sacrificing hours of his life just to satisfy the rigid, totally unforgiving demands of a compiler, he just had this epiphany. He realized this level of manual masochism simply wasn't necessary anymore. He saw that the era of manual coding was ending, making way for what he calls intent-driven development, or IDD. It's time to completely ditch the how of coding and focus entirely on the what.
So let's look at part one, the syntax era friction.
To really grasp why this paradigm shift is such a big deal, we have to look at why the old way of building software is basically broken. Think about it. For 40 years, programming has literally been a tedious game of translation. You've got a human with a brilliant idea, right? But to build it, they have to talk to a computer, a machine that is crazy fast but fundamentally stupid. So you're forced to translate your great idea into this hyper-specific, super rigid grammar that the machine can actually process.
And here's the kicker. That exact translation layer, that's the root cause of almost every headache in this industry. It's where all the friction lives. It's exactly where bugs are born, and it's the main reason massive software projects constantly blow past deadlines and hemorrhage money. We became so obsessed with the grammar, the Python, the Java, the C++, that we totally lost sight of the actual problem we were trying to solve.
But we're right in the middle of a major pivot. A new generation, led by innovators like Rajarshi, are just done with being strict translators. They have zero interest in spending their lives writing rigid grammar. They want to be high-level architects. Basically, they're trading mastery over the machine for mastery over the problem itself.
Which brings us to Section 2, the age of intent. Intent-driven development totally flips that old dynamic on its head. In this new world, you aren't giving step-by-step instructions anymore. You're just providing the intent. It's exactly like directing a movie. In the old days of manual coding, you were an absolute micromanager. You'd have to walk up to an actor and tell them precisely when to blink, how many inches to move their foot, what pitch to use for their voice. But in the intent-driven world, you're the director. You just say, hey, you're heartbroken, and you're searching for a lost letter. You give them the emotion, the context, the goal, and the AI agent takes it from there and performs perfectly.
Let's look at how this actually works in the wild. Rajarshi uses this exact approach to scale things at Rajarshi Hub. Instead of manually scripting lead gen bots line by line, he orchestrates these agentic workflows. He just defines the business goal. Step 1, find high-growth tech startups in the US. Step 2, analyze their SEO gaps. Step 3, draft a personalized outreach email referencing their latest launch. That's it. The AI autonomously navigates the web, makes the decisions, and executes the code to make it happen.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting contextually. Back in 2011, the legendary investor Mark Andreessen famously predicted that software is eating the world. And, he hit the nail on the head. That defined the entire last decade of innovation.
But the reality today, looking toward 2026 and beyond, is that software has already eaten the world. Now, AI is eating software. That means all that boilerplate code, the repetitive 80% of development like basic CRUD apps and standard API integrations, it's just a commodity now. If your only trick is writing that standard code, the market for your skills is shrinking incredibly fast because AI is devouring it from the inside out.
Rajarshi actually proved this out with his Sahapati AI project at the AI for Bharat hackathon. He built this awesome gamified AI learning partner. Now, if he'd used traditional if-then logic to try and map out every single possible student interaction, it would have taken a team of 20 developers years to build. But by using an intent-driven approach, the software essentially rewrites itself in real time. The student's own curiosity dynamically drives how the software behaves. It's a total game changer.
Let's move to Section 3, the vibe coding skill set.
So, what skills do you actually need in this new era? You might have heard the term vibe coding trending lately. It sounds super laid back, right? But don't let the name fool you into thinking developers are getting lazy. It actually describes a deeply focused, incredibly sophisticated state of flow. You're sitting with an AI agent, like a custom Gemini setup, and iterating on complex systems using natural language and architectural vibes. You aren't banging out semicolons. You are literally having a conversation with the system to mold it. To vibe code effectively, you actually have to be an even sharper engineer, because when manual syntax disappears, your value shifts to 3 core things. First, problem decomposition. Can you take a massive, messy business problem and slice it into clean, logical intents? Second, orchestration, using tools like Python and N8N as the glue to securely connect multiple AI agents. And third, human-in-the-loop ethics. You've got to know exactly where an AI is likely to hallucinate and build strict validation guardrails. You are the critical human kill switch.
Finally, Section 4, a democratized tech future. Let's wrap up by zooming out and looking at the sheer macroeconomic impact of this. Just let this number sink in for a second. 10. Thanks to intent-driven development, a single developer today can seamlessly match the creative and functional output of a 10-person engineering team from just back in 2020. That is wild.
And because IDD levels the playing field so drastically, it honestly doesn't matter where you live or what your native language is anymore. If you can think logically and state your intent clearly, you can build world-class software. It's triggering this massive explosion in micro SaaS businesses. We're officially ditching clunky, one-size-fits-all software and moving into an era of bespoke, highly personalized software that is literally generated on the fly for the individual user.
So as we are finally freed from the absolute drudgery of the semicolon, our real value gets to shine. We finally get to be clear thinkers instead of just fast typists. As Rajarshi puts it, we're free to spend our time on true innovation, user experience, and solving the hard problems. The era of manual coding is officially wrapping up, but the era of pure creation is just getting started. So I'll leave you with this final thought. In a world where the machine handles the how, what will you create?